Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ellipsis. Happy Saturday. Hope it's starting off really chill for you. It's still quite early. It's about 9 o'clock for me. So 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday is coffee time and a bit of binder love. So Obsidian Flames, we've been opening a couple of stacks of packs throughout the week. We've opened about 42 packs. We've managed to pull a nice little stack, I would say. Not quite as many reverses as I would have expected, but we have got quite a nice set of cards to put into the binder. We're going to do that. I'm going to put on a little bit of music with it, and but first we're gonna have a quick review through to see what stage we're at with the binder at the moment, and then once we finish putting in all the cards into the binder, we'll have a look through my vintage collections. I do have a few cards to put into each of those, so yeah, it'd just be interesting to have a bit of a where we're at with vintage. There's a lot that's needed, a lot of the hollows as well, so don't be disappointed if there's not a huge amount of hollows in the binders, but yeah, I've focused mainly on the main bulk of the sets up till now, so we'll be moving on to hollows for vintage very soon, and if it's interesting to you, we'll go through the binders and see what we still need. But to start off with, we've got Obsidian Flames to get done. Hopefully be able to get it all in screen. Probably not going to be able to see all of the cards, yeah, but these binders are so wide, it's almost impossible to get them fully on screen. But there you go. A few gaps. We haven't opened a huge amount of Obsidian Flames, to be fair, and we've done fairly well up till now. So there's a few reverses missing. We needed the regular Blossom, Reverse Shockle, Masquerain, Trevenant. I'm not going to name them all as we go through them, but once we put all the cards in that we pulled this week, it will be a little bit clearer on where we're at. Hope you've all had a really good week. It's been incredibly busy at my end, but I haven't been able to make as many videos as I would normally, but I think it's really important to get as much as possible out of the way before Christmas, and I break up for Christmas early, so responsibilities. There's a lot going on around home as well, with the house and family. Lots to get done, see people before we go to France, so yeah, very busy time. But I hope you're all gearing up for the holidays. It's not long to go now, so there you go. A lot of pages are, so close to completion, it's painful. Fingers crossed we might be able to complete some pages today. I can't remember. I did go through and check which cards were missing and which cards we have now pulled. I don't remember seeing if there are any completed pages because of that, but we'll see how we go. So yeah, never really felt like a huge set, Obsidian Flames, but obviously as you get down to the last of the cards that you need, yeah, I mean, it's always tricky when you're looking for individual cards, especially the reverses, or like one out of the 4 or 5 terrestrialized cards, or it does get tricky. But anyway, that's where we're at with the binder. These are going to stay like this. There's just the 3 golds, and they kind of fit in on the page there, so I filled these with blanks. But there's all the cards that we needed, and we're just going to do our usual quick little segment with a bit of background music while I put in all of the cards that we pulled this week. So there you go. We had about 22, I think, 22, 23 cards maybe. It wasn't a huge amount of cards. I thought we would, after opening more than 40 packs, I thought we would pull a majority more of the reverses that we needed, but I am not going to complain. I think we did fairly well in terms of new cards to add to the binder. So we'll just have a quick scoot through and see what we're missing still. So yeah, Shockle, Masquerain, Trevenant still, both all reverses. We're still missing some EXs as well. So as I said, I'm not going to go through every single card, but you can see what spaces are left. You've got gaps for EX there, gaps for EX there, and some where we've got one EX, but we just need another. I have a feeling the Scovillain and Entei reverses are quite hard to get hold of, especially when they're coming off the back of the hollow main set cards. I assume that maybe signifies that they're one of the more rarer reverses to pull. Nice to get an Ice Cube. We did really well on picking up at least one of EXs that we still needed for the binder, so at least that means we can fill a bit of this gap up and it doesn't look quite so empty with the two spaces. But yeah, just a couple of extra reverses at the top. And then, yeah, Palpitade, Frogadier, Wog Trio, all reverses. I believe we have all of the main set. I will double check that as we go through. But, you know, not too bad. And so it's quite nice, actually, having two reverses in each pack in the most recent sets in this era. Because you're usually left in the main part of the binder, you're usually left with the reverses being the ones you need. And when it's just one per pack, that is a painful process. Still have EXs needed for top of that page. But yeah, I think it's a bit more rewarding. And I think you're likely to see reverses that you do need a little bit more frequently, as you've got the chance to find two in each pack. And at the worst case, if you're only going to get one reverse in a pack, it means that there's an extra pull in there somewhere. So whether it's an EX or whether it's a illustration rare, special illustration rare, that's just an extra bonus on top, isn't it? So worst case scenario, you pull some nice cards and you sell them and you buy the singles that you need. But ideally, we'll see what we can do without needing to buy singles. And we've got, we're only, less than a year into this current era. There's many more sets to come, much more chances to pick up more Obsidian Flames. And yeah, we'll get it done. I'm very, very sure about that. So yeah, some pages very close to completion, others not quite. Let's just breeze through these because I'm sure you're all eager to get to the vintage part of this video, as am I. So yeah, really nice to be able to sort of start populating this page up quite nicely. Still a few gaps. I will remind you, we actually have three. I say three. It is actually two because I pulled that myself. I had this card. I had the Charizard SIR. And I had the Pidgey, I think it was, full art. They were on their way from America and they've got caught up in the postal situation that's going on at the moment. So is what it is. They were supposed to be here by now and they would have been put into the binder. So technically they're cards that we don't still need, but if they don't arrive, if they are lost in the system, then we do still need them, unfortunately. And the biggest pain from that is that, Charizard SIR, we were kind of banking on that one. That one I pulled on a rip and ship, and my good friend Fanrips Pokemon agreed to have it posted out to him initially. He received it, he kept it safe for me, and when he eventually went to post it to me, all of the postal stuff in the UK went belly up, as we call it, and now no one's getting their post delivered, so that sucks. Anyway, that's my rant over with. This is Obsidian Flames being put to bed, and now let's have a quick look through and populate some vintage binders. Okay, so the first of the binders. This is my base set binder. So when I first started out getting back into the hobby, one of my main focuses was trying to complete vintage. I bought a few like mystery bundles on eBay, and you'd get like maybe 20 vintage cards, but they would mostly be made up of part of the main set bulk type cards, and you had a chance of getting like a holo. So I bought a few of those. They were fairly cheap. They weren't as expensive as I thought they would be, and that kind of kick-started the majority of the cards that started these collections. But as I said, the holos really are where the real attention is needed. But I do want to chip away at just these random gaps within the bulk of the sets. So base set unlimited is where we'll start. So do have a few holos. Got Alakazam. Hopefully the camera's kind of quality is good enough. I don't want to show these off in a bad light, but we've got Alakazam holo, Hitmonchan holo, and a Poliwrath in holo. And then gaps, these are, I organise these the same way as my other binder, so it goes all the way along the top, and then it starts the next row, and then next row. So this would be the last of the holos, and then you've got from Beedrill these regular type cards, no holos. But I did quite well with base set unlimited. Anyway, this binder actually has unlimited Shadowless and first edition inside it, although as you'll see we'll go through, there's less and less in each collection. So if I was to try and complete this page, I would need Dragonair, and I would also need Dugong. So those would be cards I'll be looking out for in on the websites that I tend to look on. There's also Seal. Still need the Seal. One thing I do also need to do is go through all of these and just make sure that none of them are the fourth print, the fourth edition, which is basically like UK released. You can tell by the copyright years on the bottom of the cards, but I don't believe that any of them are misarranged. I'm fairly sure all of these are just normal base set unlimited. But so before Vulpix there would be Voltorb. So we don't have Voltorb yet. And Clefairy Doll goes here. And De-Evolution Spray. So as you can see, there's not much still needed to get into the trainer set. And got Imposter Professor Oak, Item Finder, After Lass, Pokemon Breeder, Pokemon Trader, Scoop Up, and let's see, After Plus Power, Pokemon Center, Pokemon Flute, still need Pokemon Flute, and after Professor Oak, where I've got my handy little marker to tell me that I've bought a card, we have Revive. And these cards are actually really mint. A little bit of whitening on one corner, but I don't know when these were pulled. These were bought from a very trusted retailer where I usually get most of my products to open. So they were selling vintage singles. They didn't have very many, but fairly good condition. we get into the last of the page, I do have another marker here because there's another card that I bought, and that was double colourless energy. So that actually completes our set. It doesn't complete our set. It just, completes our last page. I do have an extra couple of cards. I managed to pick up, for some reason, an Italian energy card. Can't quite remember where that came from, but it was just in a bundle, like a mystery bundle. But I thought it was interesting. I'm going to keep it. And there was also this Machop, which I believe has a print hickey. It's going to be really hard to see. But on the O of low, you could probably just about make out a little circle. That's called a printer hickey. And don't see them too often. They are a common error, but interesting. I managed to pick that card up for £1, which is cheap anyway, but for it to have a hickey as well was pretty cool. Anyway, on to the next. And the next is, after we skip ahead, base set Shadowless. So, Shadowless actually starts on this page, and as you can see, there are no hollows. We don't have any of the hollows yet. Shadowless is obviously getting quite expensive. It's harder to find good quality cards. I am ideally looking for very, very lightly played, if at all, or better. So finding those semi-recent, like decent price is challenging, and what I'm thinking I might actually end up doing is just buying very low graded cards, maybe cracking the cases, because you grade something at a 1 or a 2, and you can't really sell it for too high a price. It's a much more structured way of not buying from cowboys online that think their card is worth much more than it should be. But we do have some Shadowless. So we obviously have a Dratini. I'm not going to go through all of the other cards that we're missing because there's more missing than there are in the binder. But we do have a nice little range of Shadowless cards. We've got Dratini, Machoke, Magikarp, got an Abra. Very happy to have a Shadowless Charmander. That's probably the pride and joy of this Shadowless set so far. Worth some money, actually. Then we've got our Machop and Diglett, Rattata, Weedle, Ponyta. And here we have some spaces to fill. So, energy part of the binder. First gap that we can fill is Defender. Next one is Maintenance. I'm gonna grab this out first though, because it's gonna get in the way. So we have Maintenance, and we have Plus Power. And we already have Pokédex, which is good. And then last page, again, we do have almost pretty much full. We still need the double colourless energy in Shadowless that we just put into base set unlimited, so the equivalent card for that. But we do have all the energies, which is nice. So yeah. And then we move on to a set that we're not going to have anything to put into today. I will aim to focus on it at some point, but that is first edition. And first edition, you will see, is very low on the ground. I've never really put too much time or money towards collecting first edition cards yet. I think it's probably not on my priority list. I would rather see a complete set of base set unlimited, and maybe work towards as much of a set of shadowless as I can, than probably spend as much money as I would need to get a good set of first edition. But there are a few cards. So we get a Metapod, first edition, and there's a Voltorb, one of the cards we still needed in unlimited. And then that could be it. That is it, yeah. So massive on the lookout for first edition. But that's not terrible. As I said, my focus is unlimited and maybe then shadowless. But that is the base set binder. So this is my jungle and fossil binder. I actually don't have any cards to add to this binder today. I didn't find any jungle or fossil cards that I didn't already have. So maybe in a future update we will take a look through and maybe add some cards, but I haven't found any cards to add yet. So this is just a breeze through, just to show you the collection really. So we do have some nice hollows. These are all hollows. The one thing with this binder, and you'll notice with the next binder with Team Rocket, is you've got first edition and you've got unlimited. So first edition Clefable would go here, and now we've got the unlimited here. So later on in the binder you'll see that there are two cards next to each other where we've got both variants, but I just wanted to explain it's different from the base set binder. Base set, I wanted to keep them separate sets throughout the binder, but in this one they're mixed. So nice little range of hollows there. We also have the non-hollow variants of a couple of cards. As you know, the first 16 or so cards are the hollows, and then they do duplicate them in a non-hollow version straight afterwards, which is a bit strange, but it was kind of, I guess, the early thinkings of reverses and regular cards, but didn't quite branch out like that in the early sets. So got quite a lot of unlimited, some quite nice cards, and then as you get towards the back of the binder, they're the easier cards to get hold of typically. So we start to see first edition versions and regular versions of certain cards. Got a nice pairing of Gloom. So this is Jungle. We've got both the Execute and the Goldines. Still looking for a lot of first edition. Got both Rhyhorns. Very short set, Jungle. Pokeball is actually the final card. It's a shame it doesn't quite fit onto the end of one page, but that is what it is. But we can fit both Jungle and Fossil into this binder, which is nice. I don't remember if... Do we have any hollow Fossil? Okay, so yeah, we've got a couple of hollow Fossil. Fossil actually starts on this set of pages. We don't have any of the earlier hollows, but we do have Magneton, and we do have Hollow Muck, and then Articuno is a regular non-hollow. But again, still quite a lot of work to do, especially on the first edition side of things, but we do start to see first edition regular, unlimited. I keep calling it regular, but yeah, I don't know why, but I always felt quite cool about having a first edition Magma in Fossil. Don't know, it stands out as one of the sort of nicer cards to me, artwork wise. We've got both Grimers, both Slowpokes, and yeah, not a bad little not a bad little collection. You got, obviously, you'd have the 2 gamblers, you got 2 recycles, 2 mysterious fossils, and that's where this set ends. So these 2 are just gaps. And then I don't think there was anything else. Nope. So yeah, that's jungle and fossil. I think these are well worth protecting. I definitely don't want dampness, moisture get into them, and trying to keep them protected from dust as well, because I do definitely want to make sure that these are some of the cards that we never really get rid of. They're kind of a big part of my collecting. Very early days that I decided to start trying to put these sets together, and very sort of proud of these cards, and I definitely don't want them damaged. This binder is a mix, so I'll show you what they are as we work through them. But as much as I wanted to start collecting base set 2 seemed so much more readily available that I ploughed straight into trying my best to pick up as many hollows as well as the main cards from the set. So as you'll see, doing very well on hollows in my mind anyway. There is only 1 edition of it. There was no first edition, it was just base set 2. So there is only 1 card of each to get. So starting from Alakazam, all the spaces for the hollows there. I think Scyther might be the last of the hollows, or there might be 1 more, I can't remember. But basically this full page is hollows. Oh no, okay, so there is 1 more after Scyther, and there is the Wigglytuff in hollow as well, and Zapdos in hollow. I'm talking out of my elbow, I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I love base set 2. Base set 2 is probably, because of how quickly it started to come together, and how easy I want to say it was in the early days to really start collecting it, really fell in love with base set 2. So not missing too many cards. You've got 4 still needed for that page, another 4 still needed. And I will be on the hunt for trying to collect anything that's still required. It won't take too much time, and it won't take too much money, hopefully, just to fill these last gaps. Got a nice full page there. There's 2 cards missing. There's 1 energy card. It's funny how the energies won't fit onto... it's not that they won't fit, it's just there is no card to go here. This is the end card, which is strange because it's water, and you'd think it would be earlier up, but they're actually numbered, and water energy is the last card. Now, if I could, I would get... I think this is fighting energy, fighting energy should go here. But we've also got double colourless energy, so even if we shifted everything over, we'd still have 1 energy card on the previous page. So yeah, that's just my brain. You know how I organise my binders, and sometimes it's a struggle to be satisfied with the way it looks. Anyway, base set 2, not far off being complete, so very happy about that. And then we move into Team Rocket. So Team Rocket's another one of those sets. I really sort of made quite a good start on putting the cards together, pulling the set together. And this is laid out much in the same way. So you have first edition, unlimited, first edition, unlimited. So this is card number 1, this is card number 2, that would be card number 3. There's some slight variance in these. I actually bought the pre-release Dark Gyarados. Technically there would be a hollow first edition Gyarados, a hollow unlimited Gyarados, and a pre-release. So if I do find both of those, as well as the pre-release version, I don't really know what to do with the pre-release. I might put that to the back of the binder, because that is technically like a more special edition version of it. But we do have some cards to add to Team Rocket. I love this dark gold back holo. And yeah, we're going to see what we can do. We'll see where we're at. Obviously, we'll start working through an empty page. That's not a great start, is it? But another empty page. That's not a great start. And then we start to get into the set. So here we can actually start to add some cards, which is really cool. I actually have quite a few Team Rocket cards to add today. So this is kind of where the meat is going to be added onto the bones. So let's get rid of my marker. And the first card we're going to add is a first edition Dark Electrode. Very cool. They've actually got quite a few first editions to add today, which makes it even better. I do actually really like Team Rocket. I wish I'd had the opportunity to collect it when it was first out. I'm not sure I would have probably been trusted to take as good care as you need to nowadays. I think that's half the problem, is people just didn't really appreciate how collectible this would be, or the value that a set would typically sort of, people would pay for. These are such nice sets. I don't think any modern set, even if it's considered as, their homage to it or a reprint, I don't think they're ever going to really achieve the kind of just love that people have for these older cards. The artworks, just the way the cards are made up, they're just, everything about them just kind of is cool. I don't know if you're a collector of vintage, but if you are, I'd really love to see, what sort of sets you have. I've never owned any vintage Charizard, and I still don't. So, yeah, I'd love to know if you've got Charizards, when you got them, whether you've been literally sitting on like vintage Charizards since day one. That would be amazing. And yeah, I mean, I will eventually, hopefully, get around to getting at least one Charizard. I was thinking probably my focus would be getting base set 2 Charizard. I think that would probably be the most cost-effective way of getting a Charizard for one of the sets. But yeah, it's going to be tricky, especially like Shadowless and First Edition. I imagine they will forever sit unfilled, those slots. Yeah, that's some serious money. If one day, if crypto ever takes off, maybe that will be an interesting kind of endeavor. But yeah, it's gonna take a lot of willpower to put as much money as is required in order to get a good condition version of either of those. Okay, so now we move on to the trainer section. Okay, so obviously we need the first edition. Here comes Team Rocket. I can't remember what that card is. I can't be bothered to go and find out, to be honest. But from this page, look at all these markers. This is going to be great. I've been looking forward to this. These cards to put in the binder have been sat there for at least a couple of weeks, and I've been desperately wanting to put them in this page, particularly. But I wanted to do it with you guys. So willpower has been strong, but first off, let's get rid of these markers. So these first two cards are the Boss's Way in First Edition and in Unlimited. So Boss's Ways get put in. And then these two cards are Challenge in First Edition and in unlimited. So let's pop those in. And then this one is first edition Digger. I don't have the unlimited version of it, but I will keep an eye out for anywhere that's selling it. And then we move down to here where we just have one first edition version of Imposter Oak's Revenge. Very cool card. Love the artwork on that. Always love artwork when there's Gengar involved. So we get that one. And then we move down to here. So this is unlimited nightly garbage run. So that one goes there. And then as you can tell from this slot, we have first edition Goop Gas Attack, and we now have the unlimited. So that's nice. And then there's a few gaps. I'm not mad about that. But as we turn the page, we can add, because we have first edition Potion Energy. First edition Potion Energy. See if I can get that. And we also now have unlimited Potion Energy. So it's nice to be able to finish those. And I think, if I'm right in thinking, Potion Energy is the last card. What I have also done, if you aren't already aware, Dark Raichu was the first secret rare card Pokemon ever made. I can't remember the odds of finding a copy of it in a booster box back in the day, but it was incredibly rare. And I do have the unlimited Dark Raichu Holo. I still need the first edition, which I have been looking for, but it is quite pricey. But I managed to find this guy with a swirl as well. This, I think, probably even up till now, I think I might consider my, kind of grail card. I feel like this is almost the top of what I would hope to have in my collection. I love this guy. The holo is amazing. It's actually a really decent quality card, and there's a swirl on it too. So I'm looking for a first edition Dark Raichu with a swirl as well. But this guy gets to sit just off on his own in the binder, and I'm going to keep that guy well protected. And if all of this wasn't enough, definitely enough to be getting on with and investing in the future, the next two-page spread, I should say, is my favourite ever set from Pokemon. It only fills 2 pages. Some of you may know what it is already, but it kind of comes from just after this era, and there's something about Southern Islands which just blows my mind. I love the artworks on these cards. There's 4 or 5 holos, but they are insane holos. Let me, if you haven't seen this set already, just wow. I managed to find, thankfully, of all the holos that I have, I think they've all got swirls. These are some fantastic cards, and I think I have to say it's probably my most treasured set of Pokemon that I've collected so far. I do still need 3 more cards. One of them is the most expensive card, and it is the Mew. And if I can find a decent copy of it for a reasonable price, I will eventually add it to my collection. But for now, it's just a little bit out of my reach. I think I actually fell in love with this card first out of all of them. The Marrow card is amazing. But yeah, I just wanted to show you this. I don't have any cards to add to this particular little collection, but I'm hoping one day soon I will. And yeah, Southern Islands, guys, if you've not seen it before, if you've not heard of it, if if you're interested in trying to find a short little set just to collect that would possibly hold some good value, Tropical Islands is one of them. Tropical Islands, Southern Islands, sorry, is one of them. Amazing little set. Do look it up if you haven't seen it already. And yeah, that's the end of the binder. That's the end of my vintage. I mean, I have some random 1 or 2 kind of Neo cards lying around, but nothing big enough to show off as a set. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there. It seems like it's going to be quite a long video. But I hope you enjoy the vintage. I know some of you will probably tune in just to see the vintage, which I can understand. And yeah, that's been a really fun Saturday video going over Obsidian Flames, which was our challenge for the week, but also all of the vintage. And hopefully, in one of these days soon, I'll be able to give you a much more up-to-date view on more cards going into the binders for the vintage. And yeah, just have a bit of fun with it, because it started off, that was my focus. Then I got into opening products and starting to build this kind of amazing community that we now have. And vintage kind of got put on the back burner. So in time, hopefully more focus on the vintage. But thank you for watching. I hope you have a fantastic Saturday and the rest of your weekend. And yeah, I will be back next week as we gear up to go away. I think we're going to be opening a booster box of Paldea Evolved. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will hopefully see you soon. Bye.